Good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a great Friday, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are. In this live, I want to talk about developing unshakable confidence. Unshakable confidence. And why it's very important that you do as well. What is happening? What is happening? Welcome, welcome. I am doing very well, my brother. How are you? So let's dive into it, man. Developing unshakable confidence. It will open so many doors for you. But how do you develop unshakable confidence? By delivering on the promises that you made to yourself. By going above and beyond. By ensuring that people know their place in your life. I was speaking to a friend recently about why people disrespect him frequently. And I told him, you don't like yourself. That's why people don't like you. People can sniff weakness on a man because of his own relationship with himself. When you dislike yourself, when you do not stick to the things that you say you're going to do, people can sniff that weakness on you. They can. It's so important to develop a good relationship with yourself, to honor your commitments, to say something and do it, deliver on it. Because you'll trust yourself a lot more in the long run. You'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, man, I'm a man of my word. My word has weight to it. It's not empty. It's not hollow. When I say something, I follow through on it. I don't talk left and walk right. I follow through. And this is a problem that so many men face. They don't follow through. They enjoy the sound of their own voice when they talk about their goals. But the delivery aspect, they are awful at. And I used to be this way. I used to be a man who just talked and talked and talked. But I never followed through, and I disliked myself. I really did for a long time. And I was like, man, I'm such a fraud. I don't stick to what I say I'm going to do. I talk a bunch of smack to friends and family. I never follow through. And I hated myself for it. And it affected how people interacted with me. If you dislike yourself, if you see yourself as a little weak, pathetic weasel, then people will walk all over you. When I say people, women will look at you like you're a little chump. In the workplace, managers will disrespect you openly because they see you as a little punk who doesn't stand up for himself. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be the kind of man that has a fucking spine, that people respect. How do you become that man? Follow through on what you say you're going to do. Set boundaries. Don't be afraid of conflict. Your own relationship with yourself is the most important one. Now, you might think, oh, to preserve conflict, let me not say anything. What if I say something to my manager about how he disrespected me and then he fires me, Ali? Who gives a fuck? I know it's not comfortable financially, having to leave that building knowing that you ain't got a job, but maybe I'm built different. I don't know what it is, man. I would rather be unemployed than be disrespected in the workplace. I'm not your guinea pig to run experiments on. You ain't going to poke and poke and poke And I'm just going to sit there and take you like a little bitch. That ain't going to be me. That might have been the case for other people, but you're messing with the wrong guy. And that's how you got to live your life. And I'm not saying that when you set boundaries, you've got to be disrespectful. No, you can still do it in a way that commands respect. But do it, for goodness sakes. Because if you don't, people will look at you and think, okay, we can take advantage of this little punk. We can walk all over him. We can get him to do things that we want him to do. You know, so for goodness sakes, man, set boundaries. Ali, what the point of having a Lambo, but you work in your laptop in pajamas? Well, it's important to dress very well. Absolutely important. Absolutely. But you know what? At that point, if you have a Lambo, you can do whatever you want. But just me personally, I still believe in dressing well. I think it's a good look. Hi, Ali. I relapsed again today. Lost all belief in myself on this journey. What would you do if you were in my situation? Start again. I mean, what's the alternative? Just bathe in your own misfortune? No. I'm not going to sit there and feel sorry for myself. That makes you feel worse. Feeling sorry for yourself has negative ROI, negative return on investment. Of course, that shame will be there when you relapse after going on a good run. You've been away from porn and masturbation, and then you fall back and you relapse. You're going to be annoyed at yourself, but it is what it is. You're a human being. You're going to make mistakes. Try better next time. Preoccupy yourself with productive habits. Stay out of the house a little bit longer. It is what it is. You're a human being, man. You're a human being. You're going to relapse. You're not perfect. Hi, bro. I went back to my ex after being told by a mutual friend once, chased her like an idiot and got dumped, removed her from everywhere, but unable to move on. How do I build back my confidence? Well, you are able. First of all, you need to stop saying things like, I'm unable. Your words have weight, guys. Stop saying things like, I'm incapable, I'm unable, I can't. When you say words like that, you paralyze yourself. You are casting spells on yourself. I'm not going to say words like that. That's negative. I can. I am. Those are the kind of words you need to be saying. I am special. I am a magnet when it comes to attracting money and attracting opportunities. And opportunities could be money, it could be relationships. People gravitate towards me. Say things like that. You can move on. And you know what? You have no choice but to move on. Look at it that way. What, you're going to sit there for the rest of your life and sulk while she gets married to another guy and she has a life and kids and this, and you're just going to be bathing in your own sorrows and misfortune? No. What's the alternative? Either you crack on and you become a better man and you attract a better woman for you, or what? Be a bum for the rest of your life? No. Hell no. Pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and keep going. You got things to accomplish. Your life doesn't all revolve around her, for goodness sakes. What do you want to achieve out of life? What do you want to accomplish? Where do you want to go? What do you want to buy? This girl can't be the center of your life. She can't. Hi, Ali. Should I try and find a job similar to my interests? My supervisor in work is a twat, and I stood up to him yesterday, didn't tolerate his behavior and disrespect. Good man. Good man. Because a lot of these guys will dangle your salary on a little line and say, hey, you still want to work here? Well, then be my little bitch. And most people are like, okay, because they don't feel like they have any other option. And I sympathize with people that have mortgages and car payments and things like that. But man, I can't tolerate disrespect. I'm going to voice my frustrations in the most respectful, gentlemanlike manner. What you said back there is uncalled for. If you have something that you want to say it to me in private, one-to-one. But calling me out like that, I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. And a lot of these managers are going to be like, oh, no, sorry, I didn't think that you would find it offensive. They'll say things like that. They're startled by, what? This person has boundaries. damn, I thought I could get away with disrespecting this little guinea pig. This is why you're supposed to do it straight away. When someone disrespects you, straight away, you gotta draw a line in the sand. That don't work with me, sunshine. Now there's two choices here. We can go the easy way or the hard way. Okay, don't go Jason Statham on this motherfucker, right? But you know, you got to draw a line in the sand. You got to let that person know that you didn't appreciate that, and be willing. This is something else I want to add on to this as well. Be willing to walk away. Be willing to leave that job. I know, scary, no money, but your integrity and your own honor is more important than the salary that they dangle on a little string. Hey, brother, recently I just had the courage to upload my first video on my other channel. Honestly, due to words I heard from you, get on the battlefield. You can't expect to win if you never start. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Well done, man. Congratulations on making that first step. Most people will never do that. I feel I am very behind in life. Will be turning 27. I was learning FX since 1 year, and now finally I'm making progress in. But sometimes I feel very, very back than others in terms of money. Comparison is the thief of joy. Gain inspiration from somebody else's success, but don't compare. You're comparing your circumstances with someone else's. This person might be 12 years older than you. They might have been born into a wealthy family. There's so many factors that you're not taking into account. So it's unfair to compare yourself to this person. Stay in your own lane. I'm writing my own story here. That's what I'm doing. I'm inspired. I'm definitely not a fucking hater. The reason why you become a hater is because you're not doing enough. That's why you resort to hating. Hater stands for having anger towards everyone reaching success. That's what haters stands for. And repeat it again. Haters stands for having anger towards everyone reaching success. You don't want to be a hater. You don't want to be that guy. Oh, that fucking, The reason you're hating is because you're a fraud and you're not following through on the promises you made to yourself. And you see this guy who's out there making moves, engaging in huge amounts of action, and that bothers you on the inside because you know that should have been you. You should have got off your fucking ass and done something. But you didn't, for whatever reason. Don't be upset by the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. I'm going to say that again. Don't be upset by the results that you didn't get from the work that you didn't do. If you didn't do the work, don't be angry at some other guy who's been working way harder than you, getting up earlier, going back home later, networking, investing in himself. Don't be hating on that guy. If anything, learn a couple of damn things. Why did you decide to become a self-improvement YouTuber before your self-improvement journey was complete? Because the journey never ends, brother. I'm simply sharing my journey with each and every single one of you. And I always make it clear that I don't have the answers to everything. And you know what? I don't wish to have the answers to everything. Life is a journey. If I had all the answers, there wouldn't be any more desire to learn. I'm still learning. There's people that are far more successful than I am in various disciplines. But if there are a couple of things that could help some of you guys, I want to share them. This is me documenting my own self-improvement journey, sharing a few nuggets along the way, some me directly from my own lived experiences, some from other people that I'm extremely inspired by, such as the likes of Jim Rohn, Bob Proctor, Tony Brown, a lot of the guys that I learned a great deal from. So I'm packaging it and sharing it with you guys. And maybe the way I package it, you're able to digest a lot better than maybe someone else that you watch on YouTube. That's my hope, at least. My hope is that you process what I say and think, oh, I like the way Ali packaged this. It makes a lot of sense. Appreciate the content, Ali. Your advice has helped me make moves in life. Leroy, I'm happy to hear that, my brother. Keep smashing it. The momentum is positive. I'm now going gym and I'm losing my fat and gaining muscle. Keep pushing. Amazing. That's what I like to see, man. One splendacious W after the next. Can you please help me with what to do and how to build my confidence? I'm still building my career, focusing on getting better shape, unable to respect myself after going back to my ex. Listen, let it stink. If you went back and you humiliated yourself by crying, getting on your knees, that's going to sting for a while. I'll be honest with you. But there's a saying, be pissed off for greatness. Use that frustration. Harness that frustration to become better. You're doing the right things right now. You're taking care of business. You're going to the gym. Occasionally, you'll think about some stupid shit you did back in the day, and you'll think, man, why did I do that? That was corny. We all have those experiences. I look back at some of the things I did in my first relationship, and I'm like, man, why did I do that? Man, you were an idiot, right? But you were young. You did the best thing that you thought was possible in the moment. Some of you guys maybe got on your knees, you started crying, and you thought, oh, this will make her regret. Nah. And you learned the hard way. You learned that just made you look like an idiot. And it stings. It's certainly not an empowering thing to go through. You don't feel better about yourself after crying and sending a voice note of you crying or whatever. Which, I mean, you should never do that, because that will be spread around WhatsApp groups. Look at this little chump crying. You don't want to be that guy, okay? But look, it is what it is, man. You live and learn. More than 1 month on being on NoFap, focused my time on improving my FX and made a good progress in 1 month only. Thanks for your videos. You're very welcome, my brother. Yourself a lot of credit for the work that you did. Incredible. How do you build respect and love for yourself when you're, for example, out of shape, but currently working on it, working out, eating good? Well, you got to create the evidence. So if you're out of shape, for you to respect yourself truly, get in shape. Then celebrate. But, give yourself credit along the way. If you go to the gym every day consistently, you're eating clean. Good. You know what? I'm getting up, I'm doing the job. But to truly respect yourself, you must go out there and accomplish something. It's not, 7 figures and a Lambo, the stereotypical Instagram lifestyle. It's not that. It's whatever success means to you. Remember what Earl Nightingale said? He defined success as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. As long as you are progressing at something that is important to you, then you are a success. If being a doctor, having your own surgery is a successful life, amazing. If being a teacher, making 60,000 a year, 50,000 a year, if that's what success is for you, right? Whatever success is for you, recognize that, understand that. But ultimately, to truly respect yourself, you've got to go out there and accomplish some stuff. I'm sorry. Yes, trying is important, putting in the effort, but we're not here for participation trophies. We're here to win the damn competition. And that competition doesn't necessarily mean it's against someone else. It's against you and the old you. You are competing against the old you. You don't want to be that guy anymore. You want to leave that guy behind. Leave that guy behind. You don't want to be that guy. Go out there and get the results. Because when you don't have the results, there will be so many thoughts in your mind, doubtful thoughts. You will doubt yourself massively before you've created the results. You'll be thinking, man, is this even going to work? This is stupid. I remember when I first started YouTube, for example, no subscribers, right? What am I doing here, man? This is a bit goofy. Why am I making videos? Is this even going to work? Is anyone even going to subscribe? Is it? So many thoughts. And then I carried on doing it. And then 1 subscriber, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000, right? And then you start to feel more secure about where you're going. There's more confidence. You've got numbers to back it up. When you start losing weight, body fat, I went from 94 kilograms down to 77 kilograms at my lowest. Now, granted, I am a little bit chubbier now. I've packed on a little bit more body fat. But when I was going down in weight, What was going up was my confidence, my self-respect, right? So it's good to make the intention to lose weight and everything. It's good to try and lose weight, but ultimately to really respect yourself, you've got to lose the damn weight. Hey, bro, do you use OBS to stream? I certainly do, sir. Yes. Hey, Ali, my name is Joshua. I have been watching your content for the past 2 years. I'm also heavy on self-improvement and semen retention. God bless my guy. Pleasure to meet you, Joshua. Pleasure to meet you. Thanks for being a long-term subscriber, man. I appreciate it. I can't wait for you guys to say, I've been watching your videos, Ali, for 10 years, 15 years. Now, that will be a really nice comment to read one day. You know, but thanks for your long-term support, brother. Any book recommendations to become better at social skills? I'm a person who stutters, but I want to get better at communication. Well, look, I mean, there are many books on the subject of communication, how to command respect, which are helpful. But ultimately, the best way to improve your communication skills is to communicate more frequently. And I don't mean just saying, hi, mum, bye, mum. No, I mean you put yourself in situations where you have to practice your communication on a more frequent basis. Whether it's working in telesales, customer service. I mean, you can do that. You can read as many books as you want, but ultimately, if you do not put yourself in a position where you have to communicate on a frequent basis, you won't get better at communication. And also, I would say this, listen to people that you want to speak like at some point. How do they speak? What is the pace of their conversation? What is their tonality like? I mean, there's so many things. I'm in the process currently of creating a communication course, which I want to share with you guys very soon, because this is one of the most transformative skills that any person can learn. How to communicate in a way that commands respect. Hey, Ali, how are you going to work out during Ramadan? I'm going to continue working out after Maghrib time, man. After I eat, break my fast. A quick workout before Taraweeh, and there we go. Or maybe after, depending. How do you stop wasting time? For example, you work for 1-2 hours and instead of continuing, you end up chatting with a friend that does. I mean, look, a lot of these questions that you're asking me, guys, have a very simple remedy, right? I mean, ultimately, if you're wasting time, it means you don't want it. If you're wasting time, you're casual. You've got to ask yourself this question. Do I want to be an amateur or do I want to be a professional at something? I realized in my late teens, early 20s, whenever I approached something, I was casual with it. I was treating it like a hobby. And how much do hobbies pay? Not a lot of money. I wasn't professional when it came to my approach. And as a result, I didn't get the results that I desired. When I made that adjustment, when I told myself, okay, this is important to me, I'm going to treat this as seriously as possible. I'm going to block out the time for it. I don't work well when I'm surrounded with my friends. I need to be locked in the zone, in my own environment. Sometimes you've got to tell your friends, I can't see you Friday evening. I'm working on something. If you know that going out is don't go out as often. If your friend calls you every hour, tell him, yo, I'm busy. I'll call you after I'm done. I mean, there comes a point where you have to lay it out, man. You got to tell people, this is what I want to do. Set your boundaries and crack on. You're not helpless, you know. You're a human being who can make a decision. You skipped my question. What was your question? My mind is a bit resisting me to seek validation from people because that was my problem, but I stopped long ago, starting improving myself. Okay, well, you're improving yourself, man. Give yourself credit for that. Give yourself credit for that. Hi, Ali. Do you trade full time? Well, I trade, I create content, I do coaching, I do a few things. And when people say full time, they usually mean, is this something you do 40 hours a week? And the answer is no, I don't trade for 40 hours a week, but it is something that I do whenever I see an opportunity in the market. So whether you want to call that full time, part time, it's not like a typical 9 to 5 job trading. You mark up your charts in the morning, you look for a setup. If you don't see a setup, you don't trade. It doesn't mean you didn't work that day. No, you tried to look for an opportunity. You couldn't find a suitable one. So you sit on your hands and not trade. And you approach the market again the next day. For those of you that are looking to learn how to trade, feel free to check out some more information on my course, which is on my website. Or you can click on the link in my Instagram bio. It'll give you more information. Ali, what is the end goal of self-improvement? Well, remember, fellas, success is not a destination. We should be striving to improve ourselves until the day we die. It doesn't mean that, you're going to be grinding and trying to build a business at 77. But you should always be looking to improve every aspect of who you are as a man. Being a better brother, a better father, a better friend, being more impactful to society. People only look at self-improvement from the perspective of just money or fitness. It's far beyond that. I'm always looking to improve myself as a human being. That never stops. So there's no end destination. Of course, when it comes to YouTube, for example, the goal is to impact more and more lives around the world. But that will happen as a result of me taking care of the content side of things. And there's no end goal for that as well. I mean, the goal is just to keep increasing the impact. Lovely, bro. I'm on the same boat, and I made a rigid journaling routine that will allow me to get funded this year. Good man. Good man. That's the correct approach. Also, how to make money as a 16-year-old with only a few hundred-ish dollars, like hella bank, and I don't know any trading crap or whatever. Well, you don't have to trade. I mean, obviously, at your age, you won't even be allowed to open a broker account. You're still too young. But you can still start learning about trading now at the age of 16. But, I mean, when I started working when I was 14, I believe. Well, I think was I 14 or 15? I might have been 15. I was delivering papers in the morning before school. I was a paper boy. I think that's what you guys call it in the US. But I was delivering newspapers in the morning on my bike. I was earning £12 a week. Looking back, slavery. But it was a very good experience for me because it taught me the value of hard work. I remember when I got paid that £12, it felt like I was being paid $1 million every week. It felt incredible. I would really hold it in my hands and cherish it. Taught me the value of hard work. And I've had a lot of physically demanding jobs over the years. I've worked in warehouses. I've worked delivering cars. So, at the age of 16, anything that you can do to make your money that's moral, legal, and ethical, give it a go. If there's an opportunity for you to deliver newspapers, deliver newspapers, get some extra cash. If it means cutting grass, cut grass. If it means working in a restaurant, work in a restaurant as a waiter, right? Just to gain that real life experience, because a lot of people have never had a real job. A lot of these so-called gurus on the internet and influencers have never had any real job. I'm grateful to have had a wide array of extensive experience in different areas. So I could talk to you about the driving job that I had. I was going to pick up cars that have finished or their lease period. I would drive them back to the center that we had, and I'd pick up all sorts of cars, Mercedes, Range Rovers, BMWs, you name it. And funny enough, I drove an XJ in that job many, many years ago. And that's why I wanted to buy a Jaguar XJ, because, man, it felt nice when I drove it. But yeah, I've had loads of different jobs, man, and it teaches you the value of hard work. It really does. I just have 6 months after that exams of army are going to start work now. I don't know what should I do, man. I really don't like military that much. But at the same time, I've got to show something about my business. Well, I mean, look, every experience teaches you something. If you're doing this temporarily to gain some experience and to develop your character, then, I mean, that could be a very positive experience. I'm not too informed on what it's like in the military in every country in the world, but I know some friends of mine who are in the military, and some military experiences also fund your degree and things like that. So there can be some really good benefits, you know. For a lot of people, I think it's character development that they go to the military for, to shake things up, to change who they are as a person. Maybe they were just messy and just lazy, and then they go to the military and it just changes who they are fundamentally. They value time a lot more. They value brotherhood and friendship a lot more. How do you identify between the fake gurus or those who basically scam through courses and the true genuine ones? I mean, that's a good question, man. I guess you got to trust your gut feeling. You really do. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And how is this person selling the course as well? Are they talking just about the Lambos and the stuff that you can buy and stuff like that? Or are they talking about the skill set in itself and what it will do for you when it comes to accelerating your career? Someone who's just sitting on a blue or red Lambo and just promising you the world, I'm very careful with an individual like that. Because most wealthy people don't feel the need to shout and scream to get attention. You know? What is your biggest regret, whether in the past or future? Honestly, that's a loaded question. Regret, I don't believe I have many, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I can't think of one that stands out as a big regret. I think in hindsight, if you can go back in time and do things differently, of course you would. But sometimes you have to learn the hard way. When I was young, I was a little bit, egotistical, especially when it came to money. I thought I knew better. I made stupid financial decisions and ultimately paid the price for it. Destroyed my credit, amongst many things that I did. So I would tell you young guys out there, when you get into your 20s, don't be stupid and start buying shit just to impress people and start financing things. Don't be doing that. If you can't afford to buy it cash, then you can't afford it. This idea, I'll finance it for $400 a month. Don't do that. You'll destroy yourself, believe me. But yeah, to answer your question, I wouldn't say I have the biggest regret. I had to learn the hard way is how I see it. You know what? I was an idiot. I didn't learn from someone else's experience. I made myself struggle and suffer when I shouldn't have done because someone told me don't do this. But I did it anyways, and I paid the price. So sometimes in life you have to learn the hard way, Why is there usually a lot of struggle between the gap of watching videos of courses and implementing the information? The talking action for the majority of people doesn't happen no matter what. So that's a good question. That's a good question. A lot of people enjoy consuming personal development content because it makes them feel good. It gives them the false sense of achievement. Oh, I watched a 3-hour podcast on Amazing. It gives you this false sense of achievement. And for a lot of people, that fills their belly. So now, because they feel like they've accomplished something, they don't go out there and actually do the work to accomplish something. I mean, look, listening to audiobooks, reading books, all of that stuff is good. That's sharpening the axe time. So you got to differentiate between sharpening the axe time and hitting the damn tree, because what's going to take the tree down isn't just sharpening the axe. It's smacking the goddamn tree over and over again. You don't want to feel like you're progressing when you're not. A lot of people mistake movement for progress. Oh, I'm out there, I'm moving, I'm doing this, I'm sitting with my friends talking about side hustles. Yeah, but what have you done? This is the thing, man. I struggled with this for many years. I confused speaking about my goals with my friends and listening to audiobooks. I believed that was progress when it wasn't. Now I'm a data guy. Now I sit down and I'm like, okay, hang on a second. What are the metrics saying? What are the numbers saying? That ain't good enough. Look at my bank balance. Okay, that's not right. I'm doing something wrong here. How can I be supposedly putting in all this work and there's no progress? The fuck's going on there? That's why I journal. I am my own manager. I manage the relationship between me and me. I don't want to ever be delusional. You don't want to be that guy who's delusional when it comes to his ability. You want to be delusional when it comes to your belief in yourself. Man, I believe in myself more than anybody. You know, Will Smith said it in a quote once. He said, there's a certain delusional quality that every successful person has to have. But you don't want to be delusional when it comes to your ability, when it comes to the work you've been doing. You actually have to look at the numbers. If the numbers are not reflecting what you want to be seeing, then there's something wrong. Then you got to backtrack. Hang on a second. Why am I not winning? I hope this helps, guys. You don't want to be that guy in his own world. Well, you know, I've read so many books this year. Okay. Are you in a better position financially as a result? Have you improved your skill sets? Have you? It's like watching gym videos on YouTube versus actually working out. Exactly. Perfectly said. Absolutely. Do not mistake movement for progress. Don't ever do that. You have to look at the numbers. You have to. Yes, my brother, I have the book. I purchased it 5 years ago. Brilliant book. And it's one of the books that I've spoken about highly on this channel over the years. Definitely a very comprehensive guide on how to be a strong man. Gentlemen, if you do want to book a coaching call with me, feel free to do so. Click on the link in the bottom of my video, or you can go to my website, alibenhariz.com, or click on the link in my Instagram bio and book a coaching call. You can save money by booking a package. So if you want to speak to me on a more frequent basis, you can do so as well. Appreciate you guys for being here, man. It's always great for me to have this dialogue with you guys. I like the questions. I like the back and forth. I would like a call, but I don't have the 100 quid, brother. But anyways, you inspire me. Well, it's 150, but that's perfectly fine, brother. Whenever you're ready. No pressure. No pressure. Welcome, welcome to the people that have just joined the live. Hope you're all doing great. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. I want to come to Algeria one day for sure. You know, they're neighbors of my beloved Libya. And so I'd love to come down and see the place, bro. I want to see Oran. I want to see Algiers. I hear Oran is a beautiful place in Algeria. Ali, I noticed you're okay with silence. How do you not say or arms? This is something I advised a friend about recently as well. A lot of people feel the need to say something during periods of silence because silence makes them feel nervous. They process it as, oh, people are going to think I don't know what I'm saying, or that I'm nervous, or so I need to keep talking. If I stop talking, people are going to find it awkward and they're going to be very uncomfortable. No, the total opposite, actually. And this is a big mistake a lot of guys make on dates as well, when they're with a beautiful girl and they're talking, and then there's a few moments of silence. They panic. Maybe the girl's playing with her hair. She's looking outside the window, and the guy's like, I got to say something. You know that meme where there's that guy who's like, and he's got like those veins on his face and he's about to burst. That's how a lot of guys are. They're so worried when there's a few moments of silence. They think, oh, she's going to think I don't know what to talk about, and I'm not nervous. And then they start spewing a bunch of nonsense. It's okay. Slow down. If anything, being comfortable with pauses makes you look more intelligent. It makes you look like you choose your words carefully. And you don't just vomit words for the sake of it. So I'm very okay with silence. And even when it comes to negotiation, silence is a powerful strategy. And you might be thinking, strategy? What? Yes. When you say your number, when you talk about your service and then you list your price, yes, it costs £7,500. You allow the person on the other side to process that number. Okay. But when you're like, it's £7,500, and, you know, also with a service, and you're not giving the other person time to digest the price. And also, it now makes you look like you're desperate for the sale because you keep damn talking. I learned this from a sales manager once who I worked under. He said, sometimes you can talk yourself out of a deal. Very true. Sometimes you can talk yourself out of being with a woman because you start talking a bunch of nonsense, and then you say something that maybe you shouldn't have said, and she's like, nah, I don't want to see this guy again. It is what it is. Obviously, take it on the chin and learn from it, but it happens. Hey, Ali, I love the content. I wish you all the best. May Allah bless you. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. How do you say no to people like your friends or family who would end up wasting your time without sounding rude or without them disliking you because you need to be selfish to focus on yourself? Well, you've got to lay out your boundaries. You've got to tell them, listen, as much as I'd appreciate spending time with you guys tonight, I'm working on something which is very special to me, and I'm going to be preoccupied with it for a couple of hours. But if you're still going to be here, I'd love to join you guys later. So simple as that. I would also add that people often believe that, oh, I need to be busy all the time to get successful. No, as I said earlier, it's about making sure that you're productive with your time. You can still spend time with your family every day and become successful. You can still spend time with your friends every day if you want to and still become successful. It's what you do with the hours that are available to you. And it's about making sure that you block out time for the important stuff. For example, YouTube videos. It's not a 5-hour activity. It doesn't take 5 hours to record one video. It may take 20 minutes, 30 minutes if you're making a long video. If you want to edit, okay, you could sit there editing for half an hour or whatever. So all in all, let's just say an hour. You can dedicate an hour to make a YouTube video and still spend time with your friends or your family. So it's just about making sure that you're productive with the time that you have. I used to think, man, I got to grind 24/7, grind, success, this and it. I was pissing time down the drain. I wasn't prioritizing the important stuff. And I mistook movement for progress. It was only when I sat there and thought, okay, what do I actually need to get done? Okay, record a video. Okay, that's done. Okay, now what? Okay, now I could chill if I wanted to. I've done what I said I needed to do. Now I can chill and spend time with my friends. You know, so whatever you need to get done, the non-negotiables, once you've got the non-negotiables out the way, chill, relax. It's okay to unwind. It's okay to go out with your friends and have a nice meal somewhere. It's okay. I know there's a lot of these grind set gurus on YouTube who are like, don't ever go out with your friends. Don't ever buy anything nice. Only celebrate when you become successful. That's a terrible, terrible bit of advice, because that's encouraging people to be miserable along the way and save up feelings of happiness until they get to a certain destination. Success is not a destination, my brothers. It's not. As I said earlier, Earl Nightingale defines success as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Celebrate every milestone along the way, your first subscriber, your first customer. Right? Don't feel like, oh, I need to delay it until a certain time in the future. Ali, very good question. After A-levels, how long did it take you to bounce back and get into employment? As I know you refined your skills using jobs. Yeah, man. I mean, I retook my A-levels and I got shit grades in the end. It is what it is. I got 2 Ds and a C. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, university's out the window. I need to start working now. And I didn't jump into a high-end job at JP Morgan. No. I started working in warehouses, and then I got a job in customer service. I worked there for about 8 months. I just kept moving around. Between the ages of like 19 to 24, I was hopping jobs almost every 3 months. And I was doing things on the side as well. I was starting e-commerce businesses, trying to make money, flipping things on eBay, things like that. So I was definitely trying to get my hands dirty. I was on the pursuit. I was looking for my purpose. But as I was looking for my purpose, it was making its way to me. This is something that you guys need to remember. Sitting on your ass waiting for your purpose to land in your lap. And when I say purpose, I mean your life's mission. If you just sit there waiting for the thing for you to land in your lap, maybe it's being a speaker, being a trader, whatever it is, right? If you're sat there waiting for that to come and sit on your lap, it won't come. You need to go out there and do a bunch of stuff to figure out, okay, I like this, I don't really like that. And then in the process of you being on the battlefield, you'll find yourself coming across the thing that you know you should be doing, your life's work. It takes time. It may take 5 years, 7 years. But when you find it, you know, because it just aligns so well in your heart. And Steve Harvey defined your gift, the thing that you should be doing, your life's mission, as the thing that you do the best with the least amount of effort. It's the thing that you do the best with the least amount of effort. Okay, so that's when you know, okay, this is my thing, because I could work all day, all night doing it. It brings me fulfillment. I don't need to be pushed and prodded to do it. How did you manage your mental health during those periods where you were alone or isolated? Well, I mean, look, when it comes to mental health, a lot of it was unnecessary. You know, my poor mental health most of the time was self-inflicted. And for many of you, it's the same. You get in your own way. You start saying negative things to yourself and you make yourself suffer. You sit there thinking, man, I'm finished now. I got terrible grades. No one's going to employ me, this and this, and I'm going to be a failure. And you start saying all these things and you make yourself feel worse. And then you say, I'm depressed. No shit, Sherlock. You've been talking shit to yourself for the last 6 months. Of course you're going to feel crap about yourself. Of course you will. And I'm not telling you to lie to yourself and tell yourself, I'm rich, when you're not rich. What I am telling you to do is be empathetic. Okay, you know what? I didn't get the grades. Okay. I tried. I gave it my best. I fell short. It is what it is. Process it. Come to the realization. Because a lot of people don't process what's happened. They just ignore it and carry on. Process it. It's the same after a breakup. After a breakup, process the breakup. Okay. We're no longer together. Accept it. Accepting doesn't mean that you like what's happened. It means that you have accepted the reality of the situation. Okay, it's happened. Okay. Now what? What choice do I have? Sit there and sulk or keep moving? One feels better than the other. Bathing in your own misfortunes feels awful. And this is why a lot of you guys, your mental health is poor because you are your biggest enemy. You create all of these scenarios in your mind as to how awful your life will be when there's no real evidence to back that up. That's why Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than we do in reality. And that's so true. And a lot of guys who are suffering with poor mental health, their reality paints a different picture. You know what? They live in a nice house with their family. They've got a car. They're in good shape. But when they're by themselves in their own room, they are their biggest enemy. And it's when I made that shift from talking crap to myself to supporting myself that things started changing. When I say supporting, I'm not saying feeding myself lies. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I told myself, Ali, you're starting here, but you're working hard. You're being resourceful. You're asking the right questions. You're buying the right books. Keep going, champ. You don't know everything, and you never will, but you're trying, and that's the important thing. You're being productive. You're going out there. When I started encouraging myself, I noticed my demeanor changed. I felt different about myself. I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going out there. That's right. I'm trying. That's right. And then I started getting a little bit of success in one area. I felt better about myself. Okay. And then more success in a different area. Okay. I look better. I dress better now. Okay. I'm well on my way. So don't get in your own way. Be your own best friend. I am my best friend. As corny as that may sound to some of you, I am. Because I have me for the rest of my life. People will come and go. But I'm going to remain with me for the rest of my life. So am I a supporter of me or am I a hater? There's already people out there that will hate on you for doing something. Don't be one of them. Don't be a hater of your own self. Is it important to delay women and relationships when you're broke or not where you want to be yet? The last part, not where you want to be, that's subjective. For some people, they don't want to get into a relationship until they're a millionaire. I don't like that approach because success usually takes longer than you expect, and that's okay. But if you keep delaying you being happy and having a companion to a future date, you'll be miserable, man. Human beings are creatures of companionship. Now, when you're broke, it's a different story. When you're absolutely broke, you don't even have 2 nickels to rub together. Your bank balance is tragic to look at. Well, then getting into a relationship is a terrible idea because, yeah, you might be able to borrow money from your brother for the first couple of dates. You might borrow your brother's car. But sure enough, a relationship requires money. It does. I'm not saying that's a bad thing on the woman's part. No. Of course, the money is important even for yourself, all right? To take yourself to nice places, to buy yourself nice clothes. But you need money. You do. So if you're piss poor, well, you need to get a job. I mean, look, people overcomplicate being broke. Broke is temporary. Poor is permanent. Broke is a temporary period. You might have just been fired from your job and you've paid all your money on rent and your car and you got nothing now. Okay, now you're broke. But you can solve that by getting another job, by working 2 jobs. Get money in as quickly as possible. Okay? Then that addresses the broke problem. Now, poor is a mentality. One of my mentors once defined poor as passing over opportunities repeatedly. Someone knows that what they've been doing has been hurting them financially. And someone approaches them about a better way. Maybe someone says, hey, apply to my job or apply to my company. I'll put in a good word. And that person says, I'll think about it and doesn't do it. That's poor. That's a poor man's mentality. When there's a way out, when someone's offering a helping hand, come this way, and this person says, nah, but then carries on complaining about how broke they are. That's poor. That's up there. That's an issue up there. Broke is temporary. I've been broke. Man, I've really struggled. People look at the suits and, oh, this guy's a rich boy. But nah, I drove a Renault Megane. I drove a Renault Clio. The Clio was my first car. Right, man. I remember the days in that clear where I was broke as a joke. And nobody does broke better than I do, right? Man, it was a tragic period. I remember I was in my first relationship, man. I was so broke. I remember taking my girl out to the supermarket just to grab some sandwiches. Man, my card got declined. It was like the total was like £6. It was one of those cheap sandwiches in the chilled section. Right? I think one of them was prawn cocktail. The other one was tuna, I think. Just 2 sandwiches, £6. Card got declined. That was one of the moments in my life where I was like, never again. The day you experience disgust, as Jim Rohn calls it, when you say enough is enough. Hearing that little card declined. Seeing it with my very own eyes on the little payment terminal. Card declined. Insufficient fund. Whatever it said on there. Man, that moment was character defining. I felt so ashamed of myself. I really did, man. My girl had to pay for me. £6. Imagine not having, that's like $8, $9. Imagine not having $9 and your girl having to say, I'll pay for it. And there you are, ashamed of your damn self, questioning your masculinity, thinking, who the fuck am I to allow this to happen? How did I let myself go this way? And for some of you, it might be your poor health. Maybe you're obese right now. And the doctor tells you, if you don't fix up, you've got 6 months. And you're sat there processing what the doctor has just said, thinking, how did I let myself go? How did I let myself get to this point? Everyone has a character-defining moment. That was one of the biggest ones for me. Being that broke, and it was self-inflicted. For me to get to a point where I didn't even have £8 to buy a couple of sandwiches, that was my fault. And until you get to the point where you accept complete responsibility, your life won't change. Being so damn broke, you can't buy sandwiches. I took personal responsibility for it, and that was my fault. I couldn't blame anyone. I couldn't blame the economy, my last job. I couldn't blame anybody. That was my fault. My complacency led me to that position. It really did. And I told myself, never again will I allow for that to happen, ever. So damn embarrassing. So damn embarrassing. I remember being with my ex and just talking about some of the goals that I had. And we all do that in the beginning, us guys. We want to impress her, right? Oh, I'm going to start this 6-figure business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you see her eyes light up. She's like, wow, my man is ambitious. I love that, right? But most of us guys, we don't follow through. The period of time between your idea being an idea and being implemented is crucial. If that period of time is enormous, if you've spoken about it, let's say you spoke about it today and you didn't follow through until 2026, you're a talker. You're a want-trepreneur. Most people today are want-trepreneurs. They're not entrepreneurs. If the period of time between the idea and the action is very small, then you're serious. That's how I know whether someone is serious about something. When they tell me it's an idea, I almost take it and put it in a filing cabinet in my head. Okay, my friend just told me he wants to start this. Okay, what's today's date? Okay. If I meet him 6 months later, let's say we don't see each other for 6 months, I'm expecting him to say, bro, the results, the business has been doing it. If I hear him again say, bro, I want to start this business, then I know this guy's a entrepreneur. He's casual about his own success. He's not a professional. I said this earlier. Are you casual? Are you an amateur or are you a professional? If you treat something like a hobby, it will pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. And I remember being with my ex and just saying, I want to do this, I want to do that, and talking a bunch of smack. And I didn't back it up. I didn't. I kept coming up with excuses. Oh, soon enough, I just want to sort this out first. I want to sort that out. And I noticed the energy, the dynamic change. Women feel safe with men who say something and follow through on it. You know, they want to be with a man who's competent, who says it and does it, whose word has weight, who isn't just like, well, baby, I want to do, okay, cool, you told me, nice. 6 months go by, you still haven't done it. Even if I was a woman in that relationship, I'd feel like, man, this guy's a fucking talker, man. He's not serious. He's not serious. So just bear that in mind, gentlemen. Bear that in mind. I've been a severe stutterer my entire life. Feel like giving up on life right now. There is light at the end of the tunnel, my brother. And look, I'm no expert when it comes to stuttering, but a lot of the way you feel about stuttering is self-inflicted as well. Change the conversation you're having around it. Tell yourself, no, I do stutter, but if I practice my communication skills, I will improve. And don't let anybody else rush you when it comes to improving that. Don't let anybody else shame you. As long as you're trying to improve your communication skills, that's all that matters. And I think for a lot of people that stutter, it's the fear of other people's criticisms that prevents them from improving their stuttering. It could be the same for you. It could be something else, right? But it's not an incurable situation. It can be cured. I mean, thanks to Leroy for sharing one of your pieces of advice right there. Speaking loudly and slowly helped rid me of my stutter, right? Look, I'm no expert, like I mentioned, around stuttering. I used to stutter when I was younger, believe it or not. But yes, that's a great way of improving your stuttering. I said it earlier to a guy who asked me about communication skills. You have to put yourself in a position where you're practicing your communication skills. If you don't talk frequently enough, you won't be a good communicator. Whatever you don't use, you lose. That's just the way it is. I said this in a video recently as well. In life, you're either getting better or getting worse. There's no middle ground. So when it comes to communication, for example, I've noticed this myself. If I don't do a speaking engagement, if I don't make content for a while, and then I go to articulate myself in front of camera, I feel off, feel rusty. The words aren't flowing like they should. I don't feel like myself. But when I'm in a situation where I've been speaking quite frequently, training people, making content, coaching calls, my words flow so much better. Ali, my confidence isn't easy for me because I've been through a lot of fake experience on social media. To put it simple, what do you mean by fake experience on social media? Do you use an app blocker to block social media when you're working? Nah, I don't believe in those blockers. If you don't have the discipline to stay away yourself, then even with an app blocker, you'll still find a way to disable it. Maybe I'm different. Maybe that's just me myself. If I download an app blocker, I'll still try and find a way. I'll download a VPN or something and just go around it somehow. I think if you truly want to overcome distractions, you've got to force yourself. Keep the social media there. Maybe leave your phone somewhere else when you're doing the work. But, even when it comes to porn, for example, some people use app blockers. You can if you want, if it helps you. When I was engaging in that disgusting habit, right, and I started to overcome my poor addiction to it, I didn't use app blockers. I just changed my relationship with this disgusting habit. I told myself, okay, going forward, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm not the kind of guy that resorts to touching his willy whenever he feels any urge. No, I'm going to keep my hands off myself. I'm not an ape. I'm a human being. I'm not going to act impulsively when I get the signal. No. I'm not going to do that, right? Anyways, gents, it was a pleasure being on this live with you. Thank you so much for jumping on. If you want to book a coaching call with me, click on the link in my Instagram bio or click on the link down below after this live has published. Remember, you can get a discount when you book coaching calls in bulk. If you want to learn how to trade, I have developed a course on that. Feel free to check it out on my website. alibenharris.com, or if you click on the link in my bio, there's a link that will take you straight to the landing page. Appreciate you all for jumping on. And I will catch you guys either this weekend or next week. Speak to you soon.